Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
We do. Let's wait till we're ready. We've got a few audio recordings.
Okay, great.
Just want to make sure they're ready to go.
My audio. Just ahead. Give me 1 second. And all right. We're good.
All right.
Okay.
We have a few auto recordings at the table, so if you don't mind introducing yourself and recent projects you worked on and stuff.
Yes. Hi, I'm Rufus Wainwright, and I'm here to help my friend Bear out around the release of his new fabulous album. New fabulous album. I sang a song on it called Type 3 and Singularity, right?
Yep.
Singularity,
Yep.
got it.
Yep.
Singularity. So I'm very excited to be here to do that. I have a lot of other projects that I've done recently. I wrote a Requiem Mass called Dream Requiem, which is going to be at Disney Hall in May. And I also have a folk show called Folkocracy, which is going to be at Carnegie Hall on the 29th of November, the day after Thanksgiving. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm doing, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
A few days ago, you were sporting a very big gear. Did that come out of the Singularities? Like, did you get influenced by that?
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when I was a little scruffier, for sure, and I think I was in England working on a musical, so I think I was trying to imitate, or trying to keep warm, essentially. So I think that's why the beer came out. But yes, Bear and I at times look like characters from Lord of the Rings, for sure.
Bear did recently just speak about you two's friendship and trust.
Yes.
And obviously how important it was to have you on this project. How would you also reflect on your friendship being brought on this and the trust you have for him?
Yeah, well, what's wonderful is that we're both from different worlds. That although they're not obviously similar, they are actually connected. I'm a huge opera fan. I've written 2 operas, Prima Donna, Hadrian. There's the Dream Requiem too. So I'm very entrenched in the classical world. And when he came and said, well, there's this heavy metal song that I think you might be interested in doing, I at first was, trepidatious, but then when I got in the studio, it was fun because I was able to use a lot of my kind of operatic leanings, my sense of drama, my sense of power, of domination, and it worked out, finally in the track. So I think we kind of represent kind of a meeting of certain worlds that don't usually get to meet, but should.
Yeah. So I also feel like that's Comic-Con in the nutshell.
Yeah,
Everybody from all facets of life all come together.
Yes, it's wonderful. And this is my first time at one of these, so I'm a Comic-Con virgin, soon to be a Comic-Con version.
Walk around and look at the cosplay.
Yeah, walk is going to be very stimulating for sure.
Okay,
so I hope you
cool.
enjoy it.
What do you think of it so far? Just the kind of...
It's pretty surreal. I mean, in the sense that, at first, you're struck by, the outfits and the different, people together really earnestly, being so excited about stuff. But then you think, wow, there's some real passion here. There's some real desire to move forth and make the world a better place, and that's just such an important spirit now. Stuff that brings us together is so important right now, obviously, and any forum that promotes that is incredibly valuable. So I'm very happy to be here.
There's a lot of passion.
Yes.
Everybody's so into whatever genre.
No, I know.
I see it. I recognize.
Yeah. And it's nice to be somewhere that has that's a little less, how should I say, cynical. So much of the world is
I think there's a lot of openness and a lot of appreciation for all the costumes and everything. All the art that's put out there. Everybody's very open and friendly and appreciative of it all.
Yeah. And it seems also open to all different types of people.
Very inclusive.
I'm gay, and I don't feel like I don't think it's about your sexuality or your gender or your race. It's just about what you're passionate about, which is really important.
And I think that's very important.
Yeah,
I think that getting back to the project is that you have people having entries in, like you were talking about opera, or people are into metal, or people are into comic books that aren't very musical.
Yeah.
But they have this one thing in common that says, wow, I didn't know that there was a comic to this album, or there was an album to this.
Yeah. And I will say, what's interesting, just relating it to me, is I started out drawing comic books when I was very young. I went to art school, and I was very much part of that like early '90s zine culture, which was huge when I was in my 20s and stuff. So that was a way of communicating a lot in those days. Yeah, and all that stuff. So it's great to be part of that again. Well, I had one called Bella von Hertzgold. It was this character that I invented who was sort of an alter ego, who was a deposed Romanian royal living in Argentina with his mother. And I did all the illustrations, so
yeah, I was just gonna say that now as you speak about it, does it re-again?
Okay, well,
the network right here.
Yeah, an idea is sparked right now, so I haven't thought about that.
Throw it in the group chat and say, hey, listen.
Everybody's already primed.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
So let me ask you. There's an article in American Songwriter, and Bear is quoted saying that Rufus is a storyteller through and through.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one thing he appreciates about you. And so in the track type 3, is there a story that you're telling with the singing? Like what's your take on the storytelling aspect of that?
You know what? I think it's more of a general kind of passionate kind of unveiling of of the soul that is occurring, and I have to say that because there's so many high notes and massive moments that in a lot of ways it becomes more of a kind of like sort of like prayer or something very 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 stately. So and also when I'm up there, I tend to go kind of blank in what it takes to do that. So yeah, I would say a prayer of sorts.
What does that feel like when you're singing and you?
When I black out, it feels. What does it feel like? Well, I'm very thankful because I am able to present an idea to the heavens, i.e. a note that I'd like to hit, and then I kind of black out, and it's usually hit. But it does take kind of all of your energy and hope and thankfully I have the pipes to do it. But that won't last forever. So it's good that it's being appreciated.
Do you experience that on stage? Like I was at the Judy show at Carnegie Hall years ago.
Yeah. There's definitely things of like where I'm like, I know this note's gonna come and I'm gonna say all my prayers. I'm gonna make all my sacrifices and here we go, and it's there.
Would you mind sharing a little bit about your self-care routine?
Yes.
Both vocally and physically and mentally as well too.
Well, I don't really drink, so alcohol is not great for singing. So that's helpful. The other thing is it's very important I gurgle a lot. Gurgling is really important on many levels. It's hot, salt water. Everybody should do it just for their general health. Okay. Because it's a very good thing to do. I also another thing that I like to do is, as I said, I'm an opera fan. I'm not an opera singer, but I'm an opera fan, and I like to listen to really intense opera before, so that I can say, at least I don't have to do that.
This is going to be easy.
So those are a couple of tips.
It's athletic. It's like
it is a muscle, and I don't know if everybody's the same, But I actually think it's really important to sing a lot. You know, some singers say, oh, well, I don't want to rest my voice, and I don't know if I should sing here and there. And yes, you do have to pace yourself, and you have to know when not to push it and stuff. But I think singing regularly, as much as you can, does work out the muscle, and it also makes you smarter as a singer. Because if you are a little hoarse or something, there's little tricks that you learn along the way that can
it must also be uplifting as well.
Yes, uplifting. And, no, it is uplifting. And it also can make you pretty sad, occasionally, too. It's kind of both, but mostly uplifting. So, yeah. Hey.
Yeah, we don't want to get yelled at by Gary. You said one more, wrap it up. I'm not sure. Was it a wrap it up or one more, Gary? Was it a wrap it up or one more, Gary?
Give it a one more.
All right, anybody.
You guys
Okay, then we're done.
I think I'm good.
Okay, great, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Enjoy your Comic-Con.
Rufus,
I will.
We're going to do one.
Here we go. Okay.
All right, so you have collaborated with Bear in the past, at least on the score for Rings of Power Season 2.
Yes.
Have you worked together before then, and what brought you together?
Well, we became friends living in Los Angeles. I think we met at some award ceremony, some fabulous event, involving, the creme de la creme, and he just, I don't know, I think we gravitated towards each other because we're both quite odd. We're kind of unlike the usual fare one has in Los Angeles. So, and we immediately started talking about music, and then we had some lovely dinners together. And at first, he was making this album, Singularity, and he told me about it. It sounded like this grand, expansive journey that I'm used to doing as well musically. I'm a big opera fan. I love Judy Garland. I love, Kurt Weill. All sorts of different things, like a real variety. So he invited me to sing a heavy metal song, which I've never ever had the privilege, I should say, of attempting, because I have to be so, classy or whatever. So finally we went in the studio, and it was just fun to use my voice in a different way, and really, and I'm very happy that I hit the notes because they were pretty high and scary. So, yeah.
So that's fast. So like heavy metal, I'm a big heavy metal fan.
Yes.
So that's so fascinating to hear that you were able to kind of do that range and be able to try something new.
Yes.
So is there anything else that you would want to try that maybe you haven't already tried?
Well, I'm a huge opera fan, and I've actually written a couple of operas. But the reason I'm saying that is because I found it helpful in my how I cornered this song, because you have to bring a sense of drama, a sense of power, a sense of vocal prowess. So that's that. I'm now writing musicals and so forth. I also just composed a Requiem Mass, which is kind of heavy metal. I mean, it's good. Yeah, I think that we can all agree on that. So, and that's called the Dream Requiem, and I would like to basically just keep my voice going, and it hasn't failed me yet. So yeah, I guess take good care of myself. Try to.
That's a good one.
Well, going with the theme of this project, what lessons do you think loss can teach us?
Loss. Well, sadly, I'm now 51 years old, and I've experienced, quite a bit of loss. My mother passed away when she was only 63, which is very young, and it's starting. Certain friends from older generations are starting to disappear. And look, I think the main lesson for me is that time is precious, and you really have to take advantage of the now, of the present, and not worry about you know, what the consequences are. I mean, unless you're doing something horrifying, but really to just enjoy the moment. And I also, you know, we have a 13-year-old daughter, and I was just telling my dad, I had lunch with my dad, breakfast, and I said, you know, it's just so crazy. She's 13. Soon I will be an empty nester, you know, which is so weird to think about it and frightening how quickly it happens. So just take advantage of it now.
In the process of working on this, you mentioned singing heavy metal, not something you've done before, so this is obviously not like a challenge, but this is something new and different. But was there something in this process that was just so smooth for you, like surprisingly so?
Yeah.
Like how smoothly it came together?
I will say Bear is one of the sweetest, most accommodating, he really knows how to encourage all the people around him to do their best, and he's also, I don't know, he's kind of, I find him kind of attractive too. He has a very kind of glamorous, you know, swagger to him with the hair and, you know, and the smile and I think he's Armenian descent, so he's got this kind of that sort of that vibe. So it was all, he made it very, very easy and very, very pleasant, and so yeah, and I was a little concerned because as I said before, like vocally I wasn't sure if I could pull it off, but I did, and it is because of his just general support, which was nice.
Now that you've helped him bring his vision to life, is there something you would love to have him come help you bring to life?
Well, you know,
a favor for a favor.
Well, you know, that's actually a good point. I mean, I as I've mentioned before, I'm a big opera fan, and of course the original Ring is Wagnerian, you know, so with the Norse gods and so forth. So I do, I still am in that realm, and definitely some kind of, you know, dramatic, mystical, enchanted, blockbuster project would be lovely to, you know, be a part of, and so you know, maybe hopefully there'll be something like that in the future that maybe I bring to the table.
So I feel very lucky to be speaking with you today because I've had your voice in my head for like my whole life. My favorite rendition of Hallelujah.
Oh, thank you.
Last summer was all about the loneliest time for me, and then now Type 3 I've been listening to over and over again. So these are all disparate things. They span genre. What to you makes a project something that you feel like you got to get on, you got to be involved in?
Right. Well, you know, I have found that all of these big decisions are kind of decisions that the universe has already decided, in the sense that, you know, you obviously you're interested in doing something, but then everybody around you is also interested, and then finally, like, the calendars match up and the weather is good, and suddenly you're doing it. Like everything that I've done that's successful is has a spark to it that and I'm someone who does believe in destiny and to kind of larger forces at work. So I think you just have to let it. If it's really arduous to do and it's unpleasant and you have to fight the whole time, then you shouldn't really be doing it. So not that it has to be great all the time and you don't have to struggle, but there has to be some sort of momentum that everybody's riding on. So
yeah.
Okay, I'm stealing it.
Okay, great. Thank you guys so much.